We begin tonight with an unexpected and dramatic appeal today from the most powerful figure on Capitol Hill. Just days after a Republican member of Congress screamed at the president while he addressed Congress. And thousands of conservative protesters descended on D.C. on the occasion of the anniversary of 9/11, some threatening to return with weapons. Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, who ordinarily presents an Iron Lady facade, today emotionally urged her fellow politicos to try to tone down the rhetoric, to recognize the risks of stoking extremism.
I think we all have to take responsibility for our actions and our words. We are a free country, and this balance between freedom and safety is one that we have to carefully balance. I have concerns about some of the language that is being used because I saw this myself in the late 70s in San Francisco. This kind of rhetoric was very frightening, and it created a climate in which violence took place, and so I wish that we would all again curb our enthusiasm in some of the statements that are made, so understanding that some of the people, the ears that it is falling on, are not as balanced as the person making the statement might assume.
Reports of the rioting that followed Dan White's sentencing, I personally can tell you that it is rare and striking for a California politician who lived through that era to bring up that violence today. It's especially striking to hear it brought up this way by this Speaker of the House, a politician who rarely shows that type of emotion. Here was the Here was the response from her counterpart in the House in the Republican Party today, John Boehner.
A little while ago, Speaker Pelosi grew pretty emotional describing how our political climate has grown increasingly hostile, especially the rhetoric. Do you feel that our climate's gone extremely hostile these days, and sort of what's your opinion on all that?
Well, as you've heard me describe before, I do believe we're in the middle of a modern-day political rebellion. The American people are saying enough is enough. They're scared to death that the country that they grew up in is not going to be the country that their kids and grandkids get to grow up in. Their kids and grandkids get to grow up in.
It's a modern-day political rebellion. Americans are rightly scared for their country. I guess that means that Congressman Boehner doesn't agree that given the history of political violence and assassination in this country, political leaders should try to not escalate the situation toward those sorts of things. And it wasn't just Congressman Boehner, the top Republican in the House today. It was also the chairman of the National Republican Congressional Committee, Pete Sessions of Texas, who responded to Speaker Pelosi's plea for responsible de-escalation by saying, quote, "Speaker Pelosi is right that the American people are upset, but it's her own words that continue to fuel voter frustration in America. Voters are justifiably frustrated with Washington." Protesters are regularly brandishing guns at appearances by the president. Politicians have a choice. They can use their influence and the megaphone of their stature to further escalate the rhetoric, to try to stoke it further, to just see what might happen. Or they can use that influence, that megaphone, to try to de-escalate, to try to get the threats of force out of our political debates, to use leadership, to ask everyone to take a deep breath before someone gets hurt. Who's doing that right now on the American right? Is anyone who is influential on the conservative side of American politics going to step up to do that? What are they waiting for?